Welcome to another insightful installment of Drive Safe, where we learn how to drive safe, what to do on our roads, what not to do on our roads, so that all of us can prevent the carnage and stay alive, basically. Now, we're going to continue from where we left off the last time. But right before we get into today's installment, though, so you think you know. How much do you know about road signs? Well, look at this road sign and let's find out just how much you know. Now, at the tail end of today's segment, we're going to give you the correct answer, and you'll find out just how much you do know.
Right, so let me start it this way. A lot of us have been using parking lights to drive. It is so wrong. You don't drive with parking lights. Parking lights are made for parking purposes, and the law says that if you park your vehicle in an unlit area, then you can use your parking lights for other road users to know that I have parked my vehicle and therefore I'm not moving. Parking lights are so small. And the law again says that from dusk to dawn, your lights must be on, and it is talking about your headlights.
Right.
Now, in other countries, we have what we call the DTRL, daytime running lights, okay? Which means that when you start your vehicle, your lights will come on. Now, these are vehicles that are coming from, let's say, the United States and even Europe now, where you have weather challenges, where weather can change at any time. Okay, so we have a DTRL, it's a daytime running light. You start your vehicle, your lights are on. When it comes to Ghana, the commercial drivers, get to see the electrician to say that there's a problem with their lights. When they start the vehicle, it is on. But no, that is automatic. We must leave it. Now, the daytime running lights are even lower than that of the dim lights that we see. And so you can drive with it. That would not blindfold anybody on the road. And it is good if we all have it, because the law again is saying that we must see and others must see us. For instance, if you have the DTRL fixed on your vehicle and then you are traveling somewhere around the Abri hills in the evening, in the morning,
and all of that.
Right, it's easy, okay, to drive through the fog, and sometimes it's even it's even so difficult for others to see that there's a vehicle coming. So that's the purpose of the DTRL. Okay. But then again, I said no extra lights must be fixed. So those who have fixed all those extra lights must be clamped down. They must
You're
be
talking
arrested.
about extra lights. How many lights, basically, on the frontage of a car, from the sides to the front? How many lights maximum should we have?
So you have the headlights made up of the dim, which is a pair of dim, and then you have the highlights, which is also different, a pair of highlights. So you have two left, two right, okay? But when you switch on one, which is the dim lights, okay, two of the lights will come on. And then you have the fog lights. So we have four. We have the fog lights for other vehicles, okay? And the fog lights doesn't throw up. It throws down below and then your sides, okay? In other cases, you can even see the whole side of your vehicle. And that is okay. That says the law. The type of lights that you're using is what I mentioned. It's either the halogen lights, and it's been calculated. Some are 60 watts, okay? And I mean, that's the maximum. You can't go for 100 watts bulb. Now, those 100 watts bulbs are used in showrooms, and it doesn't come out.
Right. So are there differences here when it comes to the countries as well? You know, the road regulations differ slightly, though there's an international convention, if you like, but they differ slightly. So, for example, like you were saying, when it comes to other components and what may apply in the EU and all of that, are there any differences here when it comes to the wattage of these lamps, and maybe when they come into our country, our jurisdiction, are there any things that people should be doing, or we should just leave them as they are?
Leave the vehicle as it is by the manufacturer's specifications. Now, in the showroom where they want to display maybe a vehicle for you to purchase, right, they have maybe 100 watts to see, for you to see, that this vehicle has this lights and so on. But we call them showroom lights, and they are not meant for driving. And that is why when you go to a place
so it
like...
means when you purchase the vehicles, these are taken off?
Yes, these are taking off. If you are purchasing a vehicle, it runs through a whole complete regulatory system. I am quite interested in that because you see big trucks in the country and then they have fixed almost 10 lights, especially when they are traveling on the highway, right? That is not allowed.
Let's talk about the lights. You mentioned, is it HDI? So
Yes.
so let's look at the 3 different lights, and we'll be illustrating for our viewers and how exactly they show on a road.
Okay, so I'll start with the normal lights that you see, which is, a bulb sort of light. Okay, and then you come to the second one, which is xenon.
Okay.
Okay, and then the most powerful one, which is the very latest, which is the LED. Okay, and then
Those are the ones that through a very high beam,
Precisely.
whitish beam.
yes, they are white. When you put on the LED, it's just so interesting. It comes slowly before it lights up, very powerful. But again, all have been calculated for the usage of the road, that if you are using it, it must not, hurt anybody's eye.
Okay.
So people get so confused in terms of whether I should use a yellow light or a white light.
That too. What should we be using?
There is nothing wrong with it. It should conform with the regulations. Your lights could be yellow or white. There's nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
Okay, but you must not fix one yellow and one white. If you fix the lights and they are yellow, all must be yellow.
Uniformity.
Precisely, uniformity. You go to the Francophone countries, you cannot use white lights there. Their regulation is different, use yellow lights. But in Ghana, we can go for the 2, either white lights or yellow lights.
Today we've been learning about headlights. We've learned, for example, that you can use white lights throughout or yellow lights throughout, but you can't mix them. But right before we wrap, so you think you know? Well, this is the road signal or the road sign that we showed you earlier. Do you think you know what it was? This actually is the answer. And so there you have it. This is another installment of Drive Safe with me, Benjamin Akapo. I have been with CEO of TopTech Transport and Logistics, Mr. Cecil Gabra, who's been gracious enough to have us come here and be with him. Don't forget to drive safe and stay alive. Thank you for watching.